starting our first flower in the upper right hand corner. Start off with the bottom leaf, making sure you leave enough space for the rest of the flower. Just follow my lead as I draw this petal very slowly. Once you are done with the bottom petal, move to the bottom right of the petal and draw this arch connecting the second petal to the first one. You can add this swirl I'm adding here, but to be honest, I quickly forgot I had it drawn, so you won't see it past this point. Draw half a circle between the petals. Then somewhere from the middle of the circle you just draw another misshapen arch connecting the third petal to the first one. Repeat the same process with the fourth petal, making sure it's connected to the second petal. Finally, you can't really see it here, but add the last petal just above the top two petals. Once you're done with the petals, add these little triangular shapes called sepals and long stem. Just make sure it's not too long, as we'll still have to fit another flower underneath it. Now it's time for the leaves. Try and follow my lead as we draw these squiggly leaves. These sort of resemble little corals to me. Do it on both sides, but try to make them a little bit different. Now we have the first floral done, it's time to move to the top left for the second one. Draw a half oval and draw the first petal in the middle of that half oval with two other petals with rounded tops on each side. Then on top of the middle petal, draw half a circle with two more petals coming from the middle of the half circle and connecting to the side petals. Then we draw the same three triangular shapes under the middle petal called sepals and a stem. But this time we will also draw a small thinner stem coming from the bottom of the main stem, and in the middle of the little stem draw this heart-shaped bit with sharp edges, and then carry on drawing the stem with a small little flower bud at the top. From that heart-shaped bit, we want to draw some leaves on each side. Then of course we need to add some leaves at the bottom too. Draw them in the same manner as you drew on the first flower. We'll draw the third flower at the bottom of the first two flowers. Draw this misshapen star-like shape. This is where the petals will be coming from. Now just follow my lead by drawing these petals. Don't try to make them look perfect. Then from the middle, draw a long thin stem with squiggly leaves. Let's move to the right side and draw a very simple version of the same flower. Add a long stem and one thin long leaf. Do the same on the other side too. Before we start painting, we need to mix a few shades. I have chosen to go for more like purple red colors. So first grab your violet color and add a little bit of red. Test it on a piece of paper. Here I didn't like the shade, so I have added some more red to it. Grab your red and add a little bit of violet. So same process, just quantities reversed. Now add some blue on your palette and mix it with quite a bit of red. And the last one, I have added some violet with a bit of burnt sienna. But to be honest, this is a bit of a trial and error when it comes to mixing colors. Try playing around with different quantities, see what you can come up with. I don't show it here, but I will also be using yellow and blue colors. So you can grab your yellow, mix it with a little bit of orange, make it a little bit more yellowy, I guess. Same with blue, grab your blue, add a bit of maybe black, or maybe if you have a nice shade of blue, just use as it is. We'll start with the first flower we drew. Let's erase some of the harsher lines before we start painting. For me, it's more of a personal preference as I don't like harsh pencil lines, but if you don't mind them, then you just can skip the step. Start with colouring in the middle yellow. Try to add a bit more water so it doesn't dry out too quickly. Let's paint petals with the shade that is a little bit more red. Do both of the petals in that shade. Try to blend in the yellow middle part into the petals a little bit more. Now grab the darkest color in your color palette and add some of it at the bottom of each petal, and also just dab a little bit across each petal too to kind of create a bit of a gradient. Clean your brush so there's no color left in, and gently place some water drops on each petal. This will give each petal a little bit of texture. Add a bit more dark color. You can dab some of that color in between the water drops too, as well as a little bit on the yellow part. Feel free to add a bit more water to the lighter parts to make them stand out even more. Let's move on to another petal. Paint this petal in a fairly light colour. I made a mistake here, so I had to add a lot more water to make sure that the colour wasn't too dark. If you don't want the other petal to blend into this one, then you can create this very thin line in between the petals or wait for the top one to dry first. Add a bit of dark colour at the bottom of the petal and a bit to the bottom side too. Scatter some little dots to create a bit of texture. In a very similar manner, paint the other leaf. Add a bit of darker color to the edges and at the top and bottom. You can even add some lines like I'm doing here. Just make sure that the paint is at least semi-dry or else your lines will just disappear. I decided to add a bit of different color, more red and some more purple shade. Just going over some more lines here. Moving on to the other petal, we add some more of these thin lines. As you can see, I quickly forgot what my intentions were with this petal. Have some variations of darker lines as well as softer, less visible lines. Now let's paint the last petal. Make it the darkest one, however try to leave the very top quite light to give it a bit of a dimension. Add some lines to the petals. Now grab some blue. I think I used Prussian blue here and ultramarine or close to those shades. Paint the stem fairly light blue. Paint the leaves underneath the petals in darker blue. You could even mix blue with a bit of black to make it even darker. For the leaves, choose a blue that's not very bright blue. Prussian blue is great, but you can always try and dim ultramarine by adding a bit of burnt sienna or even green. Try to make the leaves darker than the stem. Let's come back to the flower head and darken some parts as well as add more details on the yellow part. Of course, you don't need to do that if you just like it plain. What I did here is I dipped my paintbrush in paint once and drew all of those arcs in one go, letting the paint go lighter and lighter. Add some details to the leaves like I'm doing here. You could also add an outline to the stem. It'll be time to move to another flower after this. Paint the front 3 petals with light red/purple shade. Add a little bit of darker shade at the bottom of each petal as well as the sides of the middle petal. Add a bit more dark color and maybe even a couple of lines on the middle leaf. Grab your blue now and paint the leaves at the bottom of the middle petal. Now get your yellow and paint the middle part. It's time to paint the petals behind. With your darkest shade, paint both of those petals. Don't worry if some of the color bleeds into the yellow. We kind of want that anyway. Grab the same darker color and let's tidy up those petals. Draw some of those thin lines on each petal. Try not to be too heavy-handed, very light touches. We'll come back to the darker petals later. Now back to your blue. Paint the stem very light blue as per the other flowers, and with darker blue paint the leaves. Now let's get back to those darker petals and give them some finishing touches. Add some details to the yellow bit as well as to the leaves. Paint the little flower on the side in the same manner that you painted the first two. This one is very simple, so it shouldn't take you too long. Let's add some details to the stem as well as the rest of the leaves. You can vary in how dark or light you want your leaves to be as well. Finish it off with painting the flower head in quite a watery red-purple. And once it's dry, just add some darker details to it. Add teeny tiny details on those little leaves. Now onto the bottom flower. Get your darker purple and water it down quite a bit, then paint the entire head in a very light colour. Then add more potent colour at the bottom and try to create this gradient. Keep adding a little bit more of the dark colour. You can gently dab it around the petals to disperse the colour a little bit more and give it more of a gradient. Add some more of the reddish colour too. While we're waiting for the petals to dry, we can paint the stem and leaves. Follow the same process as you did with the other flowers. Grab your dark purple shade and separate those leaves. Add some thin lines, they can vary in darkness, don't draw too many of them as well. We can add some blue lines in the leaves now. Again, the process is just the same as the other flowers. And now we move on to the last couple of little florals. Paint the top sepals dark blue, then stem light blue and leaves dark blue. While you're waiting for the paint to dry, do the same process with the flower on the other side. Now paint the middle part yellow on each flower. Add some details to both flowers. We'll be painting the background now. I chose to go for a yellow background, but I added a bit of red to make it a bit more of a dark yellow rather than light yellow. So yeah, now just keep painting the background. You'll notice I leave this white border around the flowers. It's just my preference, and if you don't like it, then just paint up to the flower. Also, you don't have to add the background if you don't want to. It's completely optional. As a final touch, add some details on both of the yellow middle parts of the bottom flowers. We are pretty much done with our painting now. I do hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. It's a little bit more in depth than my other tutorials, so if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will try to get back to you as quickly as possible. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you like what you see, then maybe even hit that subscribe button. I hope to see you in my next tutorial.